somebody asked about the new Trade Manager. And so, no, the new Trade Manager, if you owe Trade Manager now, which I highly recommend, then the updated version is already waiting for you on Customer Hub. And, yep, you're more than welcome to download it, install it on top of the previous version that you have, and then I do recommend you restart Ninja just to play it safe. But yeah, have at it. And any questions like that, folks, you can always call or email me. Hopefully I'm as accessible as I can be. So with that, I see our pretty charts, so I'm going to step back.
Okay, thanks, Adam. And again, my apologies for the little technical glitch we had this morning. My computer decided to freeze up literally a couple minutes before we were going to open up the room. And, well, you all know what it's like trying to reboot a computer with some software on it. It seems to take forever to load up. All right, well, welcome to our new account growth trading and training room. Just a real quick overview of what we're going to be doing in this room. It's going to be focused, as the name suggests, on helping you grow your account. And to that end, we're going to be paying extra special attention to the new Raptor. And that's not to take away from the rest of the DTS system, but I know we have some new Raptor owners in the room. So every Tuesday and Thursday, we're going to devote to training the Raptor and training on the Raptor. Now, you DTS owners, of course, you're still welcome to join. There's still be, valuable information for you. But for the most part, those days are going to be dedicated to training on the new Raptor 2.0. Today being the exception. We figured the markets are closed today. It's a good day to kind of get a soft start. So this Tuesday and Wednesday, we're going to be focusing more on trading, and then on Thursday, we'll shift back to the training mode on the new Raptor. But today is a Raptor type day, so let me go over, well, actually, before we go over the tool itself, let's go over the syllabus. Some of you will have already received this or seen it at the members area. So what we're going to be looking at, here's just a rough outline of the things that we're going to be touching on. Now, I should mention as well that with this outline, it is a guide. This is your trading room, your training room. So if I'm addressing things that, or pardon me, not addressing things that you feel I should be, well, please, by all means, ask questions, shoot me an email, send an email to Adam, and let us know. All right, so here is an outline of the types of things that we're going to be looking at, and we're going to be focusing on the introduction to the Raptor. This is going to be pretty much today's session, the Raptor 2.0. Then we're going to look into, on Thursday, we're going to start looking into markets, your market mix, what you should be looking for in a market. Oh, and by the way, before I get too far ahead of myself here, I'm going to be approaching this beginning today from the standpoint of a raw beginner. So some of you who have been trading for a little while, this information is going to be redundant. But for those of you who are brand new to trading, you don't need to feel like I'm going to be talking over your heads, or if I am talking over your head, please let me know. I can take it down a notch or two and help you understand what's going on. So we're going to focus on what you should be looking for in your market mix, what type of markets you should be considering trading. After that, we're going to spend a few sessions on the Raptor signals themselves, because you're going to notice that we've got 3 signals printing on your new Raptor, and there's actually a 4th signal there that we're going to get into also. Then we're going to look at gauging the signals within their context, and like I said, we're going to take a couple, 3 days to go over those. That's not something we're going to want to rush. We're going to look at the new trade manager. Now, the trade manager is essentially the same trade manager that it was before. It has had a little bit of an upgrade. There are a few new features on the new trade manager. And we're going to be looking at the Ultimate Support and Resistance Suite, which is standard now on your Raptor. After that, we're going to be taking a look at tracking your trades, journaling, and actually I believe that we've got someone from TraderView scheduled to give us the how-tos on using TraderView, and I do believe they're scheduled for next Tuesday, not this coming Tuesday, but next Tuesday. We're going to be looking at some price action. So not only using your Raptor to help you identify the high probability signals, but also understanding the charts themselves. So when you see a market doing something, you'll be able to recognize that perhaps a buy or sell situation is developing, or even how far the market may be inclined to go. You know, maybe the market's going to be running out of steam. And it may be time to take a look at running tighter profit targets or perhaps a tighter stop loss. We're going to be looking at things of that nature, calculating profit objectives. I'm going to show you how to really use risk reward, and it's not what you think it is. It's not like everybody on the internet tells you how to use risk reward. And then we're going to be taking a look at some of the Raptor tweaks. One of the nice things about the Raptor is that it is an adjustable trading system. The DTS trading system is pretty much locked. You can change the brick size, but that's pretty much it. You can't adjust any of the programming. Well, with the Raptor, you can modify the programming a little bit for the markets that you're trading. And we'll take a look at that also. And then, of course, bringing it all together. And we're going to focus on, you know, putting all the moving parts together to work as one. So that's your trade agenda. And like I said, if it's not what you're looking for, or if you have questions, please, by all means, be sure to ask, because that's why I'm here. I'm here to help you. All right, hang on a second here, and we're going to get right into the Raptor now. Okay, so the new Raptor has got this pre-signal and high probability signal component to it. And what that means is that the Raptor is going to warn you when the high probability signals are occurring. So these are going to be signals that you can take with a great deal of confidence, but we're going to balance that with the market context and, of course, with using our trade manager to protect ourselves as well. So let's take a look here at the guts of the new Raptor. So if you go to your indicator panel and you highlight your Raptor, there we are, your Raptor trading tool. Let me take you through a few of the features here. Now you're able to set an email alert. I do believe that Ben is also working on an instant messenger alert, but right now you're able to get an email alert of a potential setup. You're also able to get a visual pop-up if you would like to have that versus or in addition to the audio alerts. The data here you don't need to change. The auto scale you don't need to change. Now let's get down here to the audible alerts. Now these are all preset, but you can change them, of course. So if you're not happy with that file, you've got a few to choose from. You can even choose from your old signals if you just want to say swing or whatever. And by the way, you can have sound files made as well. It's not difficult to do. Just do a search on the internet for making an audio file, and you can find little automated recordings that will make these voiceovers for you, and then you can load them into your Raptor file. Now your sound enabled is right here. So this is the tab that's going to give you all these alerts. I'm actually going to turn mine off. I don't know if you guys can hear my system audio or not. I do believe somebody told me once, can you please turn off those audio alerts because it was a little bit distracting for them. So in case you can still hear my system audio, I'm going to turn those alerts off, but you may want to leave them on. Again, it's just an early warning. The nice feature of that, of course, is that you get plenty of time to set up a trade. Okay, now we're getting more into the nuts and bolts of the Raptor settings. Now, for 99% of the markets you're interested in trading, you're going to stay with the stock settings, and we're going to get more into this when we talk about the Raptor tweaks. But right now, just know that most of the markets you're going to be interested in trading, you don't need to adjust a thing. The default brick size is 8 ticks. So for your charts, for most markets, you're going to be looking at an 8-tick brick. I'm going to get into that in a moment as well. But here for the rest of your settings, for your clouds, for your hawk brick size and so on, you don't need to worry too much about how you're going to adjust these. So we've got a double cloud on the Raptor. The one cloud is going to run at 12 ticks. The other one runs at 8. For some markets, we may need to speed these up a little bit, but like I said, for the vast majority, you don't need to change a thing. The hawk brick size is set at a default of 6, and again, that goes back to the DTS system. You can change your colors for your Raptor here. Some people like to play with colors and whatnot, so you can adjust your band colors and your plot colors and so on. The Raptor also has background pre-signals. Now, you can adjust the font size if you have a larger monitor or you just would like to see a larger display of the pre-signal. You can adjust the font size there. And you can also set where you would like the pre-signal to develop. Or you can even turn it off. Now, by default, top right seems to be pretty good, just because this is normally where our attention is at. The signal parameters, a trend confirmation signal. Now this is a little bit of a tweak. You can see the hard edge signals. The trend confirmation signal means that both the clouds have to be stacked in the same direction. Now, sometimes the faster cloud will cross over the slower cloud. If you turn this on, that signal will not print. It's just another filter, if you will. So if you're looking at a fast-moving market and you don't want to be caught by a false breakout the other direction, you can turn your hard edge parameters on. The signal, the soft edge buy and sell signals parameters are set right here. Now, by default, the sensitivity is set at 1.10, and the minimum retest bar setup is set at 5 ticks. Now, I know that's going to mean absolutely nothing to you. Just know that if you set this value lower, you're going to make it more, or pardon me, less tolerant. Smaller numbers are less tolerant. Bigger numbers are more tolerant. So here we have a number 2 signal right here. Let's see if I set this value at 0.5. Oop, there we go, 0.5. Let's see what happens. Aha, you see that number 2 signal disappeared. So the soft edge sell value, where did you go? Oh, there you are. Nope. All right, hold on a second. Where did you go? Well, what the heck? All right, hold on here. Okay, let's try that again. It looks like I'm going to have to delete my old Raptor off my system so that it doesn't default to the wrong programming. So if I apply that, there. So the signals, the number 2 counter trend signal has disappeared because I've made it more sensitive. Again, don't worry about this very much. We're going to be going over this a little bit more. Just know that if you're examining a market and you're producing a lot of signals, number 2 signals that are not having any follow through to it, you can adjust the sensitivity right here. So you can, instead of going for the default value of 1, you can dial it down to 0.75 or 0.5. The minimum retest bar setup tells the Raptor system how many bars have to precede the number 2 signal. So there too, you can increase the sensitivity by dialing this number down. The smaller number will make it more sensitive. Larger numbers will make it less sensitive. And then you've got an assortment of version 1 signals as well that you can incorporate. And you can see that they're turned on by default. Arrow location, background opacity. You're going to see that the high probability signals have highlights behind them. If that's distracting to you, this is where you can go to turn those off. So to turn off the background opacity, just dial that down to 0. Or if it's not bright enough for you, you can dial it up as well. Okay, so there's just a really quick overview of the indicator and some of the adjustments that are available to you when you are using your Raptor. Yeah, Tony says, you broke it already. Okay, so let me see here. There's a couple of questions. Let me address your questions before I get too far along. Christian's asking, will every session be 3 hours long? No, probably not. that's the time we've set aside for it, but quite honestly, um, the markets do most of their business the first hour and a half or 2 hours. So that's probably going to be the duration of most of our sessions. If the market is especially active, well, we'll hang in there a little bit longer. Phil's asking, where do I find the auto support and resistance lines? And let me add those here as well. If you don't already have them in your indicator assortment, there are these here, IW, DTS, Ultimate Support and Resistance Lines. You can go to the members area and download them there. If you still, or if you can't find them or you don't know where that is, just email Adam and he'll get you squared away. Larry's asking, is this recorded? Yes, we're going to record all the sessions and we're going to make them available on the member site and probably the YouTube channel as well so that you can review them at your leisure. Al says, I noticed the original Raptor alerts as well as the new Raptor alerts go off. The audio alerts, yes. Like I said, if you find that distracting, you can go into your indicator window and turn those on and off accordingly, or change them. All right, Christian, I'm going to get to your question in just a moment. Christian's asking about bar color, and Elmer's asking if I'm running 24/5 data. Good question, Elmer. Let me double check. Yes, I am. So, and this is a very good point. Thanks for bringing it up, Elmer, because I said I was going to take this from square one. So when you set up your data, I have mine set at 10 days of data. You can set it longer, but the support and resistance suite needs at least 10 days of back data. And I go with the default 24/5 template. You can do the 24/7. However, the couple hours of trading during the Globex on Sunday morning may adjust your support and resistance lines ever so slightly. Now, it's not going to be a real big deal. It's not like they're going to print dramatically different, but there may be a slight variation versus what my lines are printing. While you're on your data series window, you may also want to go down here and this plot executions. A lot of times it's set at text and marker by default. A lot of people find that very distracting. I know I do. So you can turn it to do not plot, and that way you won't see the summary of the orders printing on your charts. I had someone email me about that just the other day. All right. So the Raptor itself has got three main components, really. We've got the price bars themselves and the two clouds. So when the clouds are stacked one above the other, we're going to be more bullish. We're going to be looking for buying opportunities. When the clouds are stacked the opposite direction, one below the other, we're going to be looking for primarily selling opportunities. When the clouds start to get intermingled like this, we're going to consider the possibility of a reversal. So the clouds mean a lot when it comes to our directionality. The bars themselves also tell us a story. So we've got two styles of bars. We've got these hollow body bars, which are bullish regardless of the color. The hollow body tells us that the market closed above the open. So on this particular bar, it opened right here. Sometime through the life of the bar, it traded down here. But before the bar finished, it closed up here. So that's a bullish bar. A solid bar tells us the market, or this bar, is bearish. The bar opened here. Sometime during the duration of the bar, it traded up to here. But by the time the bar closed, it finished down here. So you're going to notice that some of the bearish bars are red, some are yellow, and some are blue. Just know that when the body is solid, it closed lower than it opened, so it has a bearish tendency to that bar. Hollow bars, on the other hand, are the opposite. Regardless of the bar color, you're going to see we've got some red ones, we've got yellow ones, and we have blue ones. But so long as the body is hollow, that means that the bar finished stronger than it began. The bar colors themselves print according to the Hawk programming. That's from the Hawk microscalper. And if you don't like the magenta, the yellow, and the blue, you can adjust your bar colors to the more traditional red and green. With the Hawk programming, however, the way the bars print color-wise shows you a lot about the short-term market bias. So generally speaking, when these bars are blue, there's going to be a more bullish bias than bearish, even though you may get some bear bars. You may get some bars that are printing with solid bodies. Overall, it's still bullish, however. Yellow bars are very neutral. And you're going to find that when we get a lot of yellow bar clusters, we start to suspect that maybe the market's going to go a little bit sideways. Red bars are generally bearish. So when you get a lot of red bars printing, the market's going to have more bearish tendencies. So you can see we got red bars followed by clusters of yellow bars. A last attempt to rally the market, and then we move down here into red bars once again. So right now, the market looking a little bit more bearish. Our clouds are stacked in a bearish pattern. We're producing a lot of red bars, even though we saw a little bit of a pullback rally right here. Al's asking, why don't you use instrument settings for data series? You could. So let's go back to the data series here for just a second. So the default value is up here. Use instrument settings. I do believe that goes to default 24/7. The programmer told me once that default 24/5 is the best for the programming behind the scenes. There's a lot of programming that goes on with the Raptor system. There's a lot of algorithms working behind the scenes. He said that the data from the 24/5 is the smoothest and gives the algorithms the best results. So that's why I've always gone with the default 24.5. Because I do as I'm told. Elmer's asking, the overview pages that I showed at the beginning, are they available for download? So this is the syllabus that I believe you're referring to. And yes, it's at the members area of the Indicator Warehouse website, or you can email me and I will send them along to you as well. Or you can email Adam also. Now, Christian asked a little bit more technical question here earlier, but we'll address it. Christian's asking, Eric, when you are long a trade in the Raptor and the price comes down and the Raptor changes the candle color from blue into yellow, can we use this color candle change to exit the trade for a smaller loss? Does this make sense? Yes, it makes sense, Christian. So let's take a look at what Christian is suggesting. So let's say we went long from this number 3. Christian's asking, when the bar colors start to go to yellow, is that a good spot to exit the trade? Well, yes and no. It works good in hindsight, Christian, but this is actually a pretty good example of a time where it wouldn't work so well. So you get your number 3 signal, the market brings you in, and all of a sudden you print a yellow bar. So what are you going to do with that? Are you going to put your stop right below that yellow bar, in which case you get stopped out on the next bar, and then the market, keeps waffling a few times before it finally gets some traction and goes? Personally, I like to manage my stops one of 2 ways. When the trade first starts, as you know, I like to leave what I call a reasonable stop. So in that case, let's say this is our signal right here. I don't want to put a stop right here. To me, that makes no sense. You're not even giving this trade a chance. At the very least, I think I would want to leave my stop right here, but a more reasonable stop would be below here. This is at least going to give my trade an opportunity to work out. So once the trade is underway, now I start to focus on a couple of other things. I'm going to focus on profit objectives. I'm going to focus on how far I think the market might move. I'll do things like measured moves. I'm going to consult my support and resistance suite. And I'm probably going to move into a more aggressive stop strategy. Now, this is actually my trailing stop of choice when the market has a fair amount of open profit. So rather than let the yellow bar or bar change color take me out, I'll allow the parabolic or perhaps the bar high-low, one of the more aggressive stop strategies, to take me out versus the bar color. Now, to be fair, Christian, when the market has made a rather pronounced move like this, you're probably just as well exiting when the bar color changes. So when it comes down here, the bars go yellow, you may as well exit if the market trades lower than this yellow bar. But you have to have something resembling a little bit of a rally first. When the trade is first starting out, it's probably not the best time to use that type of strategy. However, once the market has moved a little bit, and all of a sudden you start printing yellow bars, then yes, you may as well consider, if not exiting, at least tightening your stops somewhat. But that's a very good question. Okay, so Tony's asking, Eric, can the system print the number and background stripe but not a printed warning in the upper right? If so, do you trade it? So what Tony's saying is, if the system prints a signal but not the pre-signal warning, do you still take the signal? Yes. We will still focus on taking the signal. In fact, I'm still going to show you how to identify the signals even without the numbers, so that you can also anticipate how the signal is building and whether it's going to be a quality signal or not. But hopefully most times we will get the pre-signal warning alerting us that a signal has the potential to build. And then once the signal prints itself, we're going to get the number print along with the background highlight. So right now the market's drifted into the hard edge. And what we would be looking for is, if prices continue lower here, that's going to be a number 3 signal. So we would look for the pre-signal alert that we have a hard edge sell signal coming up, along with the actual signal parameters. All right. When you have all your charts, your Raptor charts set up the way you like them, the next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make sure that you save all your settings. So bear with me a moment here. So you're going to pull up your control center. And again, for those of you new to NinjaTrader, this may be a little bit confusing. They call each of these groupings of your charts workspaces. So I've seen some people organize their workspaces by markets. So perhaps, you know, you're following the metals. You want to concentrate on metal markets. So you may have a group of charts for your metals, another group of charts for your indices, another group of charts for your currencies. I've seen people set them up that way. I don't set them up that way myself. I just set up the charts that I'm interested in following. So for instance, right now I've got the NASDAQ, soybeans, and crude oil going. And once I have everything set up the way I like it, I'm going to save the workspace. So I'm going to go here to the Save As so you can see what it looks like. So just give it a name, any name you want. And then once you do that, once you save that, oh yeah, okay, fine. Once you save that, go ahead and save it as again, but save a duplicate. So you can see I've got DTS RTS 2. That's my duplicate of this workspace. So if anything ever happens to the first one, if it ever gets corrupted or whatever reason, it's not working right, I can go to my alternate version. I don't have to rebuild everything from scratch, which obviously can be very annoying. All right, so I hope that makes sense to you. So we'll go here once again to your workspace, save it as, give it a name, it doesn't matter what it is, and then you'll have your workspace and save yourself a duplicate. You will be glad that you did. Believe me, that's the voice of experience. There's nothing worse than, well, there's a lot of things worse, but it's annoying having to rebuild a half a dozen markets and all your charts and everything just because one of the files became corrupted. All right, folks, that was actually the itinerary for today. I knew it was going to be a little bit of a short day because, of course, there's no trading going on today. So there's not really much left for us to do today, but I'll take any more questions if you have them. Otherwise, we're going to wrap things up here, and it will give you an opportunity to play with your charts a little, become a little bit more familiar with your Raptor system. All right, so if you have a question, type away. Christian's asking, do you use the trade manager sometimes with the percentage stop? Sometimes. So what Christian's asking is, a lot of times by default, I'll go to the ATR stop. Christian asked, do you ever use a percentage stop? Now the percentage stop is kind of cool because you're risking a percentage of the range. And this is easy to make more aggressive. Oops, there we go. So you can see you can make it quite aggressive. It can follow the market quite closely. Or you can also make it a little bit more liberal. You can keep it a little bit further away, give yourself more staying power. What I tend to do is I'll just start with a basic stop just to get me into the trade, just so I have a stop in play, and then I'll adjust my stop as the market dictates. But yes, I have used the percentage stop to answer your question. Maybe I'll use it a little bit more. It's actually nice and smooth. You know, it doesn't flip-flop quite so often. And it looks like, to start, it does offer a pretty reasonable stop, which is what I like to see. So yeah, maybe I'll look at that one a little bit more. Al is asking, on the trade manager, if you change the trail stop strategy when a trade is on, does it cancel out the trade parameters? No, sir, it does not. That's the beauty of it. So let's say we are in this trade from this number 3 signal, and we're running a percentage stop, and we're looking at this and we're saying, you know, we have a fair amount of open profit there. I should try to protect more of that. Well, you can do one of two things. You can dial down your parameters here, make it a little bit more aggressive, or perhaps go to a more aggressive stop strategy, like the parabolics, in which case you would have been stopped out on this reversal right here. But it does not cancel your trade. So you can adjust your stops midstream, if you will, as the trade is ongoing. Curtis is asking, is the trailing ATR still available? Yes, it's right here. There's your ATR strategy. None of these strategies have been deleted from the trade manager. We'll get into this more when we talk about the trade manager, but we have a panic exit button now. Obviously, we have a few niceties cosmetics-wise. Some of the buttons have been repositioned to make them more intuitive. And of course, we have our bid and ask values as well. Oh, Curtis, I get it. Curtis is asking, no, the ATR that you used to plot on the chart, that's here on the Eagle. This is our ATR line that we have here on the Eagle. And you can put that onto your Raptor if you like, but that was always unique to the Eagle, not the Raptor. Elmer is saying, the older manual says not to change stop strategies in the middle of a live trade. I do believe that was an issue with the early trade manager, because what the early trade manager would do was essentially reload the Ninja script when it changed stop strategies. That is a no-no. If you are in a live trade, do not, whatever you do not press F5. What happens is it will reload the Ninja programming. So we'll refresh your screen, go back to your defaults, but your trade will have disappeared. Now that means your trade is not displayed on your chart, but it will still be live in your control center. So what that means is you're going to have to use your control center to manage your position. Or if you're in a panic situation, you can just hit the panic exit, or you can go to flatten everything. And that will clear out the trade. Okay, well, we're getting some questions here related to the trade manager. We're just going to save some of this stuff. We'll go over it again when we do the trade manager. But Larry's asking, are the sessions recorded? Yes, they are. And they will be at the members area of the website and probably on the Indicator Warehouse YouTube channel as well. Al is asking, why do you not have choices to buy or sell at the bid or ask? Well, quite frankly, Al, most of the time those orders were redundant. Most of the time, 99% of the time, if you're looking to get into the market in a hurry, you're going to buy or sell the market. If you're going to try to buy the bid or sell the ask, you can always right-click on your chart and you can enter a buy limit order, or you can enter a sell limit order, which is essentially what you're doing with that. To buy the ask to sell the bid, well, that's the same thing as a buy or sell market order. Now you can also, again, we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves, but on the Trade Manager, we have limit orders as well. So if you wanted to set up a trade with a limit order, let's say you wanted to buy the limit down here, cover the trade to here, with your profit objective up there, you can certainly do that still. So that would be the same as trying to buy on the bid, essentially setting a limit order. But in all my years, not once did I ever try to use those buy, bid, sell, ask buttons, or certainly not, buy the ask, sell the bid, because like I said, that's the same as buying or selling the market. So that's why we have these orders. These are more if the market is, say, unfolding quickly. Like, let's say you're watching, and for whatever reason, the programming didn't print a pre-sell order signal, and all of a sudden you got a number 2, and you've been waiting for a number 2, well, then you can just go ahead and hit the sell button, and it puts you into the trade. So that's why those are there, just to get you in a hurry if you need to. John is asking, how do we reverse a trade in the Trade Manager? The very early Trade Manager actually had a reverse button on it. I'm not a big fan of reversing positions. I tend to have a solid reason for getting into a trade, and it's usually based on one of these high probability signals. It's not likely that you're going to reverse on these signals very often. So what I mean by that is, if you get a number 3 signal you're going to anticipate a rally, and then all of a sudden the market starts to turn on you, you're probably not going to be panicked to reverse on that signal. You know what I mean? Like when you reverse, you're usually watching the market very closely. It's hopping back and forth, back and forth. It brings you in, and all of a sudden you think, oh, I'm on the wrong side of the trade, so you hit the reverse button, and it gets you going the opposite direction. And then you find out, oh, it's rallying again, so you hit the reverse button, and then you buy. I found the reverse button is not very helpful for growing your account. In fact, more often than not, it has the opposite effect. So to reverse in the Trade Manager, if that's what you would like to do, you can use these buttons up here. You can close, and then you can hit your buy or sell buttons automatically. It's a good question, though. It's a fair question, to be sure. All right, well, you guys, you're ahead of the curve here. Todd's asking, would it be better to change the settings for the E-mini to something a little faster? What would you recommend? Yes, the E-mini is one of the markets that is the exception to the norm. And we'll go over this a little bit more detail, but let me give you the numbers here so you have them. You're going to run a 4-tick chart, and then you're going to go to your Raptor, and you're going to run, where are my clouds? Did I go past my clouds? You're going to run a 6 and 4-tick cloud and a 4-tick hawk. So those are the E-mini numbers, and that's probably the most popular market that needs adjusting. But we'll get into that a little bit more detail when we talk about alternate brick sizes and such. All right, but those are your settings for the Eagle. So you can make those, or pardon me, the Eagle for the E-mini, so you can make those adjustments. All great questions. Thank you for asking them. Tony's asking, I do not see where to DL the new Trade Manager. Oh, download. Sorry, I drew a blank there. You know what? For those download questions, folks, the best thing to do, contact Ben directly. He'll get right in touch with you. And his email is support@indicatorwarehouse.com, or send an email to Adam, and he will get you hooked up as well. Do what I do, just CC them both. And they'll point you to the download in the members area. All right. Any other questions before we go? Christian's asking, for a new customer, it is not possible to buy Raptor 2.0 again. Contact Adam on that one, Christian. I'm sure that he can work something out for you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if there's no other questions, we're going to button things up for this morning. And we'll do it all over again tomorrow. The markets will be live tomorrow, so we'll hopefully see a few good trading opportunities. And we'll go from there. All right, so have yourselves a wonderful day. Make sure you play with the Raptor a little bit, get comfortable with it, and we'll see you tomorrow morning. Bye for now.